Last night, I was giving my seminar at one of my favorite middle schools. At the end of the seminar, a mom came up to me after hearing me give my little lecture on the whole issue of sexting and asked if she could tell me a story. She was really upset by the story, and there is some language in this, but we're all adults. I'm sure you can handle it. And I'm actually advising that you share this video with your middle schooler, because I think it will give them an idea of what they could potentially do in a situation like this. And if it's a boy, some cautionary tales about not doing something like this with his cell phone. So here's the story. This is a 12-year-old girl. Again, the mom said to me, Joni, she's 12. She's not 12 going on 16. She's 12 going on 12. She is still young enough to see the world through very uncynical eyes. And so she got a text message from a boy that she has known for her whole life. So, she knows this kid. She likes this kid. He's family to her. And so the first question he asked her, and he's also 12, was, want to walk to the Starbucks with me after school? So that sounded like that's a plan. She likes this kid. Then the second question was, and this is all on his texting away on the phone, would you kiss me on the way to Starbucks? And then the third question, would you let me touch you? And then finally the fourth question is, would you let me fuck you? Now, that was shocking to me, just hearing this coming out of this mother's mouth from a 12-year-old boy's mouth, because clearly this is not what this 12-year-old boy wants to do. But somewhere he must have heard that the way to get a girl and the way to impress a girl and to think, have a girl think that you're cool is that you talk to them dirty. Well, this 12-year-old girl was not impressed by this and was completely freaked out and ran to her mother crying, thank God. And the mom was beyond upset. She was upset for her daughter. She was upset for the son. And she was upset for what she was going to have to do, which was to call this boy's family. These are close family friends. So you can imagine the awkwardness of the entire situation. This 12-year-old girl was so upset by this language that she ended up refusing to go to school for 2 days, and the mom didn't know what to do. So she let her stay home and hope that things would cool off a bit. So here's how I would handle this story with your kids. I would say sometime you may get a text message like this from a boy who has a crush on you. Would be the conversation you would have with your daughter. And for the conversation you would have with your son is, I bet that there are some girls that you like and that you're not quite sure what it is you're supposed to say to get them to be interested in you. And clearly this boy thought this would be the way to go. Bad move. Okay? So for the girl, you might say, I know from right now you're going, ew, no one would ever write that to me, but I'm sure that's what this 12-year-old girl thought was ooh as well. So I would say to the kid, I know there's going to be a time where you may get some text messages that are really uncomfortable for you. So at the first, let's take this line by line. So when the boy says, want to go to Starbucks, that sounds like fine. The boy says, want to kiss you, that may be a sign that there's more to come. So maybe when things start to get, before things get out of hand and it goes all the way to the final question, you might have stopped there and said, you better not go any further. You could type away, tell them that your parents check your text messages. That might be one way to stop this kid from going any further. And if he writes, well, don't show them, you can say, well, they get them online. I don't have any control over it. So if you don't get me in trouble, don't send me any more text messages like this. At least, the kid can blame it on you, and hopefully that would stop this boy in his tracks. If the boy continues, you can say to your daughter, tell them, your mom's looking over your shoulder, you gotta go. You gotta, tell them that before things get too disgusting, you can just say you gotta go. Just use that so that when you start to feel uncomfortable, teach your kids to trust their gut. I'm sure as soon as that 12-year-old boy said to her, would you let me kiss you, she probably thought there might be more to come. So a lot of it is helping your kids to anticipate before things get too bad, that they can stop them in their tracks. So it's important to let your kids know that you get this kind of thing is going to happen. You can't protect them from it, but you can give them some strategies so when they're in that moment, that, you know, if that girl had known that ahead of time, she wouldn't have had to miss 2 days of school. She would have not felt embarrassed and humiliated because she would have felt in control of that situation. And for the parents of boys, this is a great conversation to have around respect for girls, that this is not the way to get attention from girls, and maybe brainstorm with them some other things they can say to make them sound funny and cool that don't require them to ask them to have sex. So this is really an important issue as your kids get older, as they play act, especially in middle school, they play act being teenagers. They're not quite there yet. They are yearning to be older and yearning to be more flirtatious and excited and exciting to the people of the opposite sex. And so they do things that don't make any sense to adults and are really out of line. So they need your help in understanding what it is the limit for how far they can go. Saying, do you want to walk to Starbucks? That's fine. And asking anything further than that, especially on a cell phone, is not appropriate. So I hope that you'll use this video as an opportunity to talk with your kids about the potential of this whole sexting issue that can become really uncomfortable and embarrassing, and this is your way to protect them from those moments. Thank you.